By the end of this tutorial, you should expect to know how to take some raw data that looks like this and make it look like this in just under 30 minutes. Hello everyone and welcome to this Excel tutorial. In this video, we're going to be going through all the basic things you need to know when it comes to using Excel. And since this is the first video of this series, of these tutorials, I'm going to start from the basics. So I'm going to show you how to navigate your way around Excel, and then I'm going to show you all the possible options you have in Excel. And all these things we're going to be going in this video is going to help you familiarize yourself with using Excel. So here, when it says part 1, what we will cover, you can see all the topics that we're going to be going through in this video. It's going to be things like adjusting the width and the height of columns and rows, showing you how to change the fonts, going over the numbers sections, how you conditional format data, inserting, deleting, formatting, sorting, filtering, going over the graphs. So it's quite a lot of things to go through, but I'm just going to show you where you can find these things and how to apply them. Right. So if you want to download this file, I'm going to have a link in the description where it's going to take you to my GitHub repository, which is going to be a page like this one, where you can click on Excel tutorial data 360, and it's going to download the Excel file that you see over here. Right. So if you want to launch your own Excel file, you want to work on your own Excel file, all you have to do is go to Start menu, type in Excel, and then this Excel app is going to show here. You just click on it, and then you're going to have a new Excel sheet where you can work on this one. However, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to use this Excel file because I have some raw data here which I'm going to use to help you demonstrate all the things you can do in Excel. Right. So quickly, let's just go over the data set we have so you understand the columns and what the data is before we start showing the things you can do in Excel on this data set. So the first column, if I just click on the first column here, top left, and then first thing we've noticed is that everything is like very close to each other, like shrink down, so you can't really see the whole column names. If you want to see the whole column names, you're going to have to click on the column name here, and then this bar here is called the formula bar, is where you can see the whole column name. So literally, if you click on any cell, you can see the whole name here on the formula bar. Right. So the first column we have is called new account NO, which is basically an account number. So all this data down here mean this is a specific account. Then we have new opportunity ID. So all these data here are opportunity IDs. Then we have the opportunity names, which they correspond to an ID. Then we have the estimated completion month. So this is an ID, estimated completion month ID. So this is an ID that corresponds to a month, a specific month, which later on I'm going to show you how to do a VLOOKUP and get the month next to it. The next column we have is the product category, which is basically each opportunity has a product. And then is the stage of each opportunity, which they vary from stage 0 to stage 5, if you can see. And then we have a value, an estimated opportunity value for each opportunity that we have in our data set. Right, so this is our data set now. So the first thing that we're going to cover, I'm going to start from home, top left. It's all these cut, copy, and paste data, which we have over here. So I assume that everyone knows how to use copy and paste or cut and paste, but I'm going to show you a quick way of doing copy paste or cut and paste in Excel or generally everywhere where we're using a computer, which is going to be, if you click on instructions, top left, we see here we have useful shortcut keys to know. So it's basically, if you click Control and C equals copy and Control and V equals paste. So if I go back to my data and select my whole data set and click Control C, and then I select a random cell anywhere in Excel, let's say this one, and I click Control V, it copied and pasted the data. If I want to undo this now, because I just wanted to demonstrate you how to do this, but I don't really want this data here, I can either click undo here, top left, or, by the way, this is forward, so it's going to bring it forward, or I can click Control and Z here, which is basically undo. So I go back here, I click Control Z, it undo my action. And same principle applies with Control X, which is cut. So I can select something here, click Control X, and then Control V. So I cutted the data from here, brought the data here, but I don't want this to be there. So I'm just going to undo this action by clicking Control Z. Right. So we've done cut, copy, and paste. The next thing we're going to do now is adjusting the column widths and the rows heights. Formal Painter, I'm going to cover it later on when I apply some formats, and then I need to show you how it works. Right. So as we said before, we can't really visualize all the column names. We need to adjust the columns to be big enough so we can see the names. So what we can do, I can either adjust, if I hover over between A and B, I see this sign showing up, which if I click on it and then drag it up, I can make the column bigger. So literally as big as you want. And you can either do this one by one, so I can do this, look, one by one, or I can just select all the columns, and then by the end of this selection, I drag G to be big enough so we can see all the data. You can see now it applied all the adjustment in all the columns. Another way of doing it, so I'm just going to undo now, Control Z, is just selecting all the columns, again, A to Z to G, and then by the end of G, I double click on this line. So what this does now, it's not going to assign the same weight on all columns, but it's only going to assign, it's going to make them as big as they should be, so all the data is going to be visible. So this is what double click does. Right, so the same principle now applies with the rows. If I go in between row A1 and 2, I can drag row 1, I can drag row 1 down, so you can see the height top left is increasing as I drag it down. Or I can just go back and I can just select everything together and just adjust them all in one go, just make the height bigger in one go. Right, so I don't want to do that, so I'm going to undo again. Now we have all our data visible. What I want to do, because this is our column headings, I want to make row 1 a bit bigger, so like this. And then I want to select row 1, all of it, and go here where we have fonts. I want to make the font a bit bigger. So if I click here, I can increase the size of the font. So I can either do it manually by clicking the drop down menu and selecting the size of this column, or I can just click here where it says A and then the arrow up, and it's going to increase it by one step at a time. Same thing with the decrease. So this is increase, this is decrease. You can see I just want to keep them on font size 14. Now I have to readjust the columns, as you can see, because they don't fit again. I want to make them bold. So here is where we can make it bold, italic, or underline. So I just want to do just bold. I don't want italic or underline. I want to change the fill color. So here is where I can change the background. So I want the background color to be a bit bluey here. And then I want the font color to be, I think black is okay, but if you want to change it to something more bluey, here is where you can change it. So fonts is where you can do all the things I've just said. Again, I'm just going to select the whole data now, and I'm going to readjust the columns so we can see. Now you see we can see all the column names almost. But now we can. No, now we can. There we go. Right, so the next thing we want to show now is the alignments options over here. So the first three alignments we have are the vertical alignments, and then these are the horizontal ones. So what do I mean by vertical? As you can see, all of our titles now are at the top. They are not exactly in the middle of the whole row. So I can select them and then click here where it says middle alignment. So you can see it move them in the middle of the row. So I can do it either at the bottom or at the top if I want, but middle I think is fine. And then we want to change the alignment to be in the middle of the column now. So this is the horizontal alignment. So as we can see now, we are on the left. If I select the middle, it's going to be in the middle, and the right is going to be on the right. So I want to use the middle. This one is if I want to add an angle on it, so I can just, if I select it, as you can see, it put an angle on them, and you can change the angle. I think if you go to alignment here, you can change the degrees, but it's not very useful to know this one. Yeah, you're gonna have to make the column much bigger if you want to use this alignment. This what's the name of it? This orientation alignment. I'm gonna go back just to undo everything I've done. The next thing we see here is the increased intent, which is basically if let's say we had the alignment here and we only want to push it on the right by a certain bit, what it does is just pushes all the data a bit more inside, or on the left is going to be the other way around. But I just want to keep them in the middle again. Let me just select everything, and okay, as you can see, we can't see all the data. Oh no, this is too much. Right, okay. I think I'm gonna, it's because of this opportunity name is taking too much space. What can we do? I think we should just select everything, double click this. Yeah, there we go. Now we can see all the data. Right, so the next thing we want to go through is the wrap text, which means assuming all your title was not fitting in and you wanted to put estimated completion and then multiply it below it. If I just make this column a bit smaller now, and then I select this cell, which I can obviously not see all the data, and I click on wrap text, you see it's going to try to squeeze the text in so it fits in the space that it has. And now if I want to make this a bit bigger, you can see now that we can see all the column name, and we can even make this column smaller now because we can wrap the text. So for example, if I do the same on product category, wrap text, and then I make it smaller, you can see that now I'm using a lot less size, and I can still see all the data. So this is why wrap text is very important. Now the next thing now is the merge and center, which is basically where we merge a lot of cells together. So just to demonstrate it, I can just select all of these and click merge, and now all this cell is treated as a one cell, and I can just type in it. You see merge cell. So I just want to undo and show you a practical application of this, which is basically we can select all the rows at the top of our table and put a heading. So in order to do that, we should either move all this data one cell down just by selecting it and just moving it down, but this is messing up with our alignment. So another way to do this is click back, select the whole one row, right click and click insert. So now we have a new row at the top. So the insert, delete and format is here on the cells, but I just want to show you how to insert a new row now so we can demonstrate the merge and center. So now I can just select everything from A to G, click on merge and type in Excel tutorial as our title. Then we want to make this a bit bigger again. So now I want to make the fonts of the columns a bit smaller, so down to 12. I want to make these ones 11, which they're fine, and I want to make this one 14. And then I want to give it again a color, then bold, italic, underline, and then I want to put it in the middle. So now we have a title, maybe not underline, maybe we can do it 16, and now we have a heading for all of our table. Right. So the next thing I want to show now is this number section over here. So when it comes to numbers, we can only format the actual numbers, not all the columns, because here you can see we have characters. Here we have characters and numbers, characters. Yeah. So numbers, I want to start with selecting all my numbers and then going here on the drop down menu. Well, let's see the general first. On general is where you can assign the type of each column. So if you want to say that this column here is a number, you select on it and then you say number. So now you can see it added those .00 next to it. However, this is not a number. This is actually an ID. This is a month ID. It is a number, but we don't want to use it as a number. So I want to change it back to general, and I want to select my actual numbers here. So select the whole column G and say this is a number. However, yes, it's a number, but I can also say if I click the drop down here, if it's a pound, a dollar, or a euro, or any other, if you want more currencies, you can click on more accounting formats and you can find more currencies down here in the symbols. So now I'm just going to select it and say these are English United States dollars. And what I can do from here is I can either put more zeros, more decimal places, or I can remove the decimal places using these two buttons here. So I don't want to have any decimal places, so I'm just going to remove all of them. Assuming I had a percentage, again, I can select the whole column and click on the percentage here. So now it converted this number to a percentage, but I want to undo this because I want it to be a number. And then the comma here is, let's say when you have a volume and it's not actually a currency, you just click on it and it makes the whole thing as a number, but it's not a currency. It's still a number, but it's a currency. So now it's not a currency, sorry. So now we undo, and then I think we finish with the numbers. The next thing we have now is the conditional formatting. So what this does is it adds rules. So based on some conditions, it's going to do some either changing the font or the background color of the data based on some conditions. So for example, let's say that we wanted to highlight as red all the opportunities that their stage, so opportunity stage is 0, because let's say 0 is not good, we need to flag it out straight away. What I can do is I can select the whole column F, go conditional formatting, and then I want to say highlight cell rules, and then here I don't want greater than that, not less than, not between, I want equals to, because I want to equal it to, and then if it says stage /0, so I'm just going to type in stage 0, you can see straight away that I identified it. I want to fill this cell, and here is where I select the color. I can either select light red or yellow, you can see the yellow, or green, or you can customize it. I can have the font to be red or whatever you want. You can click here where it says custom, and you can select the colors or the fonts or the backgrounds you want. But at the moment, I'm going to use the light red and click OK. So what I'm saying here is on this column, the whole column F, if the stage is stage 0, then it's going to highlight it as red. Right, let's do another example. Let's say we want to flag all the opportunities that their value is more than 50,000. So I can select the whole column G, go to conditional formatting, highlight cells, and then I want to use greater than because I want to check if it's more than now. And then here I'm going to type in 50,000. And what I want to do now is that I want to make this, I don't know why it's not picking it up. Let's check it out. Put green, then click OK. It's not picking it up. It's because it's not treating it as a value. Wait, let's check it out. Greater than, sorry, and then I put 50. There we go. Now it works. It didn't like the dollar sign, so just make sure you remove the dollar sign. Then I want to make this as green because it's actually really good. And then click OK. I have no idea why it made the column as green. I'm just going to undo and just select the range I want and apply the same rule, greater than 50,000. I'm not sure why it treated the estimated opportunity value character as more than 50,000. Right, so now we can see that we've applied one rule here where it identifies the stage 0 opportunities, and one rule here where it identifies the good opportunities which are more than 50,000. Same principle applies with all the other rules. You have greater than, less than, if you want to use between, equals. Text contains is basically the same with equals, but it makes sure it's a text. And then you have, okay, duplicate values, very important. I need to show this one now. Assuming that we have duplicate opportunity IDs. For the moment, we don't have any, as you see, but if I just copy this first one and paste it down here, now we have two IDs which have the same opportunity ID. So if I just select the whole column now, B, and I go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules as duplicate values, and then I want it to be red again because it's bad, it's not good, you can see that straight away it identified that this value here exists in both this cell and this cell. So which is really good to have, really good to know how to use identify the duplication. I just click on the cell and click delete now because I've finished the demonstration. What else do we want to show here? More rules here, top and bottom. Data bars, very good to show. Again, if I select all my values and go to conditional formatting, go to data bars, I can add a data bar. So I've selected the first one, and you can see that it creates this visual representation of which opportunity is the highest based on the value, and then the lowest. I can change the coloring, or you can see this one is a green one. Yeah, this one is a red one. Solid fill, again, different kinds of displaying the same thing. Color scales, so this, if you go to color scales and I select the first one, it basically, oh wait, let me remove some of the rules because too many things going on now. Delete this. Again, I'm going to select this and go to color scales, and I select the first one. What this does, it starts with green as being the best, the highest value, and the red is going to be the lowest value. And in between, it's going to assign a lighter green, and then in the middle, it's going to be yellow, and then going downwards, it's going to be red, and then a light red, and then a more strong red. So again, this is the color scales. You can do different color scales. You can select all of them in your free time and see. They basically do the same thing but different coloring. And then icon data sets. So I'm going to explain these ones later. How do we add those? Because sometimes it's good to know when we do the week on week, and if it's positive, then we can add an arrow showing up, and then if it's negative, an arrow showing down. Right, so the next thing we're going to show now is going to be the format as table, which is basically I can select my whole row data. I'm going to exclude the title, and then I click on format as table. And then if I hover over these ones that are not showing, maybe I have to select them. Let's see, I select one of them, then it selects the range itself, it identifies the range, then click OK. And then as you can see, it changed the whole format of this table now to this bluey format with blue and white, blue, white, blue, white. And then it also added the filters here, so you can click on the drop down menus and you can actually see all the options. You can even search. So if I click on stage and I only want to say stage 0, type in 0 and then OK. And then as you can see, it's going to filter the data only on stage 0. We can select any from at the top here. As you can see, we can change the layout of this table. I can even change, oh, now it changes, there we go. So again, you can use any one that you want. Before we use some of these ones, I want to show you how to manually add the drop down menu yourself. If I go back again, okay, there we go. If I just select now the column names and I go where it says sort and filter, click the drop down and type in and then select filter, then we can add those filters manually ourselves without going through the format as table. Something else now in this, since we are in sort and filter, is that I can filter, I can sort the data by the highest opportunity value. So to do this, I just have to select the whole range that I have and go to sort and filter and click sort largest to smallest, and then click expand this selection. So it's going to expand on the whole data. And now you can see that it ordered the data. We start from 75, 50, 33, yeah. So if I select the whole thing now and I add the data bars, green ones, you can visualize that it's showing from highest to smallest. Again, you can either sort the data by alphabetical order A to Z or Z to A if you want, but you're gonna have to select something that has characters, not numbers, and then sort A to Z or Z to A. Yeah, so I left it here on the format. So I've shown the formats as tables. The next bit, the styles we have here is manual styles. So literally, if you want to manually pick out something that is good, so something that is bad, so you can see bad, good, neutral, you can just select it, and let's say label, I want just this cell to be good. So you click on good. It's basically changing the layout. It's not a rule. It's a manual change of style. So I don't find it very important to use. Right. So insert, delete. I've shown you how to insert a new row. Literally right click, insert. If you want to insert a new column, again, it's the same principle. You select the column, you right click, insert, and there we go. We have a new column. You can see that we kept the filter there because it treats the whole thing as a table. Right, undo, fill, oh, some don't want to do this. Okay, right. So I think we've covered sort and filter, insert, format. Okay, the next thing we want to show now is the graphs. So I go back to start here, and then the graphs, we're going to find the graphs in insert. So we finished with the whole home. I think I've shown you the most important things you needed to know. If we go to insert now, here is where we have the charts. So this bit is going to be the most important bit in insert. Pivot table is very important, but we're going to show them later. Right, assuming now I want to create, first of all, to create a graph, you need to select some data. To select some data, we know how to select data. We literally select this data, the data set here. Actually, we don't want the column names. So stage 2 and then the value, and all the way to stage 0 and then the value, and we click on recommended charts. So here, it gives us some ideas of what we can do. The first idea, as you can see on the left, it has the value and then all the stages. So you can see stage 2 with the highest 75, again stage 2 high 50, 50 here, then 35 is the third one, stage 5. So it gives us an idea of what columns we can have, what charts we can do. So here again is a funnel, which is a good one. Here is a pie chart. If I want to manually see all the charts, I go to all charts. And then here is where I see all the column charts, all the line charts, all the pie charts, bar charts, and goes on and on and on with all the possible things we can do. So for this one, I'm just going to put a column chart. Maybe a funnel one. I like the funnel one. I think the funnel one is okay. Click OK, and then I have funnel chart here. So I can change the title by just clicking on title and saying this is the funnel chart for opportunity stages. So now I have a name. Then what we can do is that we can change the coloring if we want. So if I right click on these columns, and here where it says fill, I choose a different color. So maybe make it a bit like I don't know, orangey, and then we can change by selecting the numbers. I can change the font. So the font can change from home font here, and I can make them I don't know, dark blue maybe, bold, and then a bit bigger. So now we can see them. We can't see them now because they don't fit in here, but if I make this bigger, they can fit. Cool. So I'm just going to leave it as it was down here. Maybe make them a bit smaller. You can see the 7K. If I want to change the coloring of this arrow here, so I just click on it and then I make it black and then maybe a bit bigger. And then the name, I can make it a bit bluey maybe. Yeah, there we go. If I want to add an outline, I can right click, and then where it says outline, I can make it a bit gray maybe, and then I can change it to be dotted lines. So I go right click, outline, dashes, and then you can see if I zoom in, they are like dotted lines. To zoom in, by the way, you click control, you keep control in, and then you scroll in and scroll out. So let's add it here. Control plus scroll in or out gives you zoom in or out. Good to know. Now it doesn't fit. Let me make it a bit bigger. Click save. Right. So let's add one more chart. Let's add a bar chart too, just to demonstrate it. But now I don't want to use the stage and the value. I want to use the name and the value. Because stage doesn't make much sense because we have three opportunities in stage 2. So we really should sum them and then show them all together. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just demonstrating how to do a graph. It's not about, making the best sense. So what I can do is just select all the opportunity names, then click Control, and then select the value. So now you can see I can select 2 different data sets that are not next to each other. And I go to Insert, and then Charts here. I click on Recommended, and then go to All Charts. And then I want a column 1, but I maybe want the bar one. I think is a bit nicer because it's long. I have long names, and I'm just going to add it down here. Again, I've shown you how to change the coloring and everything, so I'm not gonna. They don't fit though. The values don't fit. We probably have to right click, go to Format Axis, and then we need to find the alignment, labels, position. Where is the alignment? Oh, there we go. Here, and I want to have. Let's try this one. Rotate, no, this one. And then I make the table a bit bigger. Then I select the table within and make it a bit smaller. There we go, they fit now. Right, so we can see the data now because we couldn't see it before. And then maybe let's change this color to be light blue. And then we can even add the data next to the graphs like we have here. So if we click here and add data labels, we can see the labels now. And then if I select them, I can change the font to be dark blue, bold. There we go. Right, so the chart title is going to be this is going to be opportunity. So estimated value. This is estimated value by ops name. So it's the estimated opportunity value by the name. Then I want to make this one the same as this one. So blue, yeah, there we go. Cool. So what else do we have to show? So we've shown the graphs. Now we have to show how to remove the grid lines. Right. So to make this a bit nicer now, we want to remove all these grid lines because this is like a small dashboard now. So to do this, we need to go to View, and then here where it says Grid Lines, untick it. So now all the grid lines are gone. However, I want to add them back in my table. So I want to have grid lines here. So the way to do this, I can either go to Home, and then here, drop down, go to Line Color, no, sorry, to Line Style. So if I select the line now, I can start adding lines. So you can see manually. However, if I want to change this to a dotted line, because I think dotted lines are easier to the eye, they are not as strong as the whole line, and then I click on the bar, the formula bar, to unselect everything, and I select my whole data set, drop down menu, and click on all borders. It's going to manually add all those dotted lines into my table. So there we go. I have my table, I have my dotted lines. I can drop down now. I have my 2 charts, and yeah, right. So I've shown you how to do that. If you don't want to apply it in all borders, you can either select bottom border, it's going to be only below, top only above, left, right, no border, and then some other options here, which is like double bars or more thick borders. So it's up to you to experiment with those, but they're very logical, and we can go through all of them. Right, so what's left? I think we're almost done. The last thing I want to show for this video is the automated summary statistics, which is basically if I select all this data here, which are numbers, down here, bottom right, I can see the average of this data, which is 26,889. I can see the count, which I have 9 rows, the count, and I can see the sum. So this is the automated statistics. If I hover over something which is not a number, which is opportunity stage, for example, it's only going to show the count. But if it's a number, let's say, again, it shouldn't be treated as a number, the month ID, but it's a number. So we have an average, count, and sum. Right. Thanks for watching this video. If you feel that you've got enough value out of this video, please click that like button and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of videos like this, how-to and tutorials around data analytics and data science. This is just the very beginning video. So yeah, please click that like button and then watch the next video, which is going to be the part 2, which is going to be going over the formulas and the aggregated functions. If you have any questions, by the way, please let me know in the comments. But if there is something specific that you want me to cover or you want me to explain, please let me know in the comments so I can get on it. Thanks for watching.